And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I just assumed your genders. You are watching Bigfoot Odyssey. This is the Researchers Report, and it is Blue Line Wednesday, 1 or 2 days a month, where we kind of let our hair down and have just a little bit of fun with the Bigfoot subject. With us, as always, the lovely Miss Daniela Agliolo, producer and co-host of the report. How are you, Daniela?
I'm good, thank you. Looking forward
That's
to tonight.
wonderful, dear. Wonderful. And just wouldn't be Blue Line Wednesday without Jake and Adam, the Blue Line Bigfoot guys. What's happening, gentlemen?
How's it going? It's good to be here again. This is fun.
Yeah,
Reporting for duty, sir. Ready to go.
cool. We got some good stories, I think, to kind of goof around with. I got one really serious one. I'm gonna save that one for the last because that was sent to us. That wasn't one that we went back and picked from 1975. It's one that a friend sent to me, and it's kind of similar to what happened to me in several respects. But we're going to save it for last. Got some good prizes. We're going to give away the Bigfoot Odyssey song for a ringtone or whatever you want to use it for, except a Bigfoot show named Bigfoot Odyssey. You can't use it for that. But anything else you can use it for. Stickers from Mr. Cam Buckner from Dixie Cryptid. We got some of those. He actually sent us a lot of them. So yeah,
Nice.
Linda took pictures and so they're blurry, but Bigfoot pictures are always blurry, aren't they? Thank you, Adam.
You did it well. Perfect. Nice execution.
So what you guys giving away? Where's the tumbler?
What?
We got
Boggler.
the
Boggler.
back behind poised and ready.
That thing that wheel that you guys made.
The original name was the Wheel of Destiny.
No, the wheel of what? The wheel of truth.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Full of knowledge, wasn't it?
The wheel of knowledge.
The Wheel of Knowledge.
Go.
We do
Yeah.
have we got some good prizes, and Jake put together some really good stuff for us to give away this week, and I think why don't we show them one of what we got?
Okay, well, the first one, thanks to the Helpers Fund over there in Chestertown, I picked up a whole box of these handy dandy 4-inch peace sign stickers, and they're all from different countries. And in the back, you can see this one says Ecuador. So this is a peace sign sticker from Ecuador, and that's their country flag with a Beastie Boys Hot Sauce Committee Part 3 sticker and a 19, probably about 89 Art Monk wide receiver NFL football card. So
Wow.
it's
Very
a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's a very obscure package. Love it. One thing, you guys are going to ask questions about episodes of the BLB. For our giveaway, we're going to ask a question about Bigfoot Odyssey. So,
Ooh, I'd like that.
oh yeah. So, yep, I have one prepared
Nice.
already. So,
We're rolling.
we're rolling.
We're moving.
We're live.
What do you say we get into one of these here on stories?
I think
Daniela sent me these. I went through them. I think you already went through these, didn't you? And punctuated them correctly because I didn't have to do anything to them. So good
That's what
job.
I'm for.
Good job. All right. This is Clewiston, Henry County, Florida. Includes a drawing. So we have a drawing prepared for this at the end. So let's see. So I think it was winter as we had an older car without air conditioning, and it would have been too uncomfortable to ride around without windows up, as it had rained most of the day, and as I remember, we were in no hurry to get home. This happened back in 1982 or 83. My husband and I went to the store, Mary Lou's. You know where Mary Lou's is. And we were on our way home when we had our encounter. We were traveling slow, looking at the area, checking to see if any new homes were going in. Montura Estates is a very large area, and back then, few people lived out there. Those who did were widely scattered. Okay. We were the only car on the road at the time. It had rained most of the day and still was drizzling off and on. It was overcast and dreary, but visibility was good. It was late afternoon, probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I saw someone coming up the road out of a wooded area farther up the road. We were on Hacienda Avenue traveling south. You know what Hacienda is? It's like 2 streets past past 3rd on your way to Mary Lou's. Yeah.
I think so.
It was too far to tell much. It was too far to tell much about who it was, but could tell it was a person, or so I thought. I remember thinking, who would be out walking on a day like this? It traveled in the same direction as we were. Of course, we were gradually getting closer. He then crossed the road in front of us and proceeded on the same side as us, still in the same direction. As we came up on Hunting Club Avenue, I think that's like 2 streets past Hacienda, and then Mary Lou's is like 3 blocks over.
Makes sense.
This is where we were turning. We slowed up even more, and as we were in, my eyes are bad, and as we were in the process of turning, I saw that this person was going straight down Hacienda, that he didn't turn off. That was really strange, as there wasn't anything down that way. There wasn't any place for him to be going, as there wasn't anything out there but woods. Well, woods is a place to be going, isn't it? I'll go in the woods. Used to go in the woods all the time. This is when I really got a good look at him. I saw that there was hair, long hair on his what?
Nether regions.
I think she meant to say head here.
Oh.
It's not there.
Oh,
His legs moving in the wind as he moved. I looked even harder and saw that he/it was covered in hair completely. Black or very dark hair covered its whole body. The hair was 4 to 6 inches long. The hair on his head seemed long, as it was blowing up away from its body. It came down at an angle to his shoulders. That's what I'm picturing.
Mm-hmm.
The head seemed round on top, but I got the impression that it was looking down, not straight ahead, but looking where it was going and walking. It was tall, over 6 feet, and I'd guess about 300 pounds. It held its arms close to its side. I know from reading other reports that people say it has long arms, etc. I didn't get that impression. All righty. It seemed normally proportioned. It seemed to be built like a big man. It walked upright at all times. It did seem to be hunched a little in the wind, but no different than a person would be. I was about 100 to 150 feet away at the time. I didn't turn or act like I was like it didn't turn or act like it heard us coming up on it. Then I couldn't see it anymore as we were into our turn. The pine trees were thick and close to the road. Also, palmettos were very thick, and they blocked my view. I turned to look at my husband. Neither one of us said a word until then. I remember my husband said, "Was that what I thought it was?" I said, "I think so." I'd like to say here that we were in shock. I know it seems to take my mind a minute to register what my eyes were seeing. My husband backed up, and that only took a second, and it was gone. I guess it must have hurt our brakes when my husband stopped the car. We went on down Hacienda Avenue all the way to the end. We backtracked and even went down another street, Appaloosa Avenue. I think that's 2 blocks back. Appaloosa is from Hacienda over by Mary Lou's. We looked everywhere, but never saw it again. You know, if you're afraid somebody hears you hit the brakes, it's probably time for some new brakes. Because that means, the little tag is, like the school bus.
Safety first.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think you're going to have to have your rotors turn if you keep up that behavior.
Right. Precisely.
thing that really surprised me is that the person they read. They said they read reports, and I heard back in the 60s Americans don't read. So the fact that someone's reading today, this
was 1982, 82, 83. She didn't remember exactly the year or exactly how cold or hot it was. All she knew was there was no AC in the car, and in the summertime it's too hot to ride around.
Yeah.
So she didn't remember that much, which I probably would too. But she drew a picture.
Really?
Daniela has a picture for us to look at.
I do.
I like this.
So she's an artiste.
I don't want to say what it looks like he's doing, but I don't think it's hitting a golf ball.
It's probably cold. He just looks cold, shy and cold.
No, he's about to golf. He's about to
He's
take
got a 7 iron.
He's got his.
I don't think he's playing golf.
You call it
Well,
7 iron.
you see the way that the hair is blowing.
It's blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
He's cold and he's shy. That's just all there is to it.
That poor guy.
He's got scoliosis, I think too, by the looks of that.
Look, yeah, there's a little wavy there.
Not a bad picture. She said it wasn't massive, like it was, a little over 6 feet, but thick, 300 pounds. But I mean, you see something that's Florida. These things are all over Florida. I think they saw a skunk ape. Absolutely.
Yeah,
For sure.
And who knows? These things get old like we do. They can get senile too, I think. And they just wander around. I mean, you hear it all the time. I had an uncle. He got to be 77. Went walking out of the house, and they found him 3 days later, like 30 miles away, walking. Didn't know where he was. Didn't know who he was. It's a shame. It really is terrible. But I mean, do you think that's possible that this could happen to Sasquatch? I mean, I think they're human enough that they can get old and just wander off and not care anymore, whether they're hidden or not.
I think it can totally happen. The thing is, there should be some kind of communication within the family group that they're in or something that would not allow them to get too out of their brain, because then they're going to be found. And so it just seems like
You're right.
should be that they probably have something where, okay, Jimmy's not doing so good. You don't remember the trail back home anymore, and then they get rid of him. Something. I don't know.
Could be that. Well, I don't know. We are talking about an emotionally intelligent creature. They have to have, we know they get angry. They have to be able to get happy and sad, and I think they can experience love and bitterness and jealousy and all those things. That's just what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about bitterness.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
But the basics, I think. I mean, even dogs get dementia, don't they? Dogs and cats can get dementia.
Sure, good point.
Yeah, I had a dog. His name was Six, named after Nikki Six, and black lab. And took him to a buddy's house, and they were all partying, smoking weed, and Six got a hold of the bag of weed and ate the whole thing. Yeah. And he was never right again after that. I had to have him put down.
That's insane. That sucks. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I guess that's what was wrong with him. I don't know. I don't see marijuana doing that to anything really. I have experienced that stuff once or twice in my life.
But maybe you never know.
Something was wrong with him after that. He was just you couldn't get close to him. I mean, I could, but he wasn't the same dog. I mean, it was like his eye. You could tell there was something in his eyes that just wasn't right.
That happened to a cat of mine. It got OD'd on catnip. I'm not kidding. This is true. And the cat was nuts ever since then, and crawling up in the corners of the room and just doing weird things forever. He never stopped doing it.
What is catnip? Is that some kind of weed? Isn't it some kind of weed?
Yeah, it's a weed that grows here, and it comes up every year, and it does something to cats. It triggers something in their mind, unlocks something. And he was never the same. Kitty Boy was his name.
Kitty Boy. He went to the spirit world, never came back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, let's give away a
Let's do it.
Let's give away a Dixie Cryptid sticker. Let's do that.
They don't need this for that.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
They're gonna do something on yours, aren't you?
Okay, yeah, we'll do a Bigfoot Odyssey question. All right, we're gonna give away a Dixie Cryptid sticker. Here's the question. We'll go with probably our most viewed episode. Episode 5, My Encounter Story. Who filmed me doing that episode?
How do we look at we can't see the live chat going on there.
We can hear you whispering.
Oh, you can hear the whole time?
Shh, Jake, be quiet.
Treva.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, Andy. Treva, congratulations. You won. You won a Dixie Cryptid sticker. Actually, we'll send you one of each.
Cool.
I'll have you. I know you have my email, Treva. So email me your address and we'll get that sticker right out to you. Yes, it was. Now, technically, if we were looking for a last name, Mind Your Business, which is Rachel Gotro, she got both names right. Or I think Squatch Lady in PA, maybe.
Both names.
Oh,
Anyway, we were accepting just one name. So congratulations, Treva. You won the Dixie Cryptid stickers. We'll get that right out to you.
these people that know the show's content, they're just on point with the information, with the questions, the answers.
Yeah, they don't mess
They
around.
don't mess around. They know what's going on. They pay attention. It's awesome. Thanks, guys, for paying such close attention to this.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Who's doing the next one? You guys going to do this one?
Sure, we can do this one if you want. Daniela, what do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, June 1988. Near Nanaimo, am I saying that right? Off Nanaimo Lakes Road, Mount Benson in the Vancouver Island Range. I think, Jake, I'm going to hand this off to you in a little bit. I'll do some of it, then I'll give it to you, and you can finish it up. That'll be fun that way. The area is a mountain river valley at the base of a mountain, mostly Douglas fir and Sitka spruce, with a lot of poplars, birch, and scrub brush down near the river. Quite remote from nearby civilization, as it's 10 miles or so farther off the very end of a barricaded logging road, which has few summer cottages. This happened between 6 and 7 every morning over the course of the last weeks in June. The closest water would be the Nanaimo River and the farthest of its lakes. I was on a solitary fishing trip / retreat and had a tent set up down in the valley of the river. Every morning around the same time, I was awakened by the sounds of several voices hooting and sort of chattering, like the apes that you see on wildlife TV specials. I was scared stiff the first time. Peeked out the tent flap, saw a family group of 4 man-like creatures splashing around in the river. A male and a female and what looked like twins. This happened every day as I crawled out of the tent and just sat there watching. They noticed me, and I felt like the youngsters wanted to investigate, but the adults held them back. On the last morning, I was up and out of the tent and making breakfast by the time that they arrived. Instead of going to the water, they sat down watching me. Talk about unnerving. If only I had taken a camera. I could have got some truly amazing shots of them. The adult male stood about 8 feet tall and was massively built throughout the chest and shoulders. Large biceps and thighs. Fairly human-looking genitalia was pretty well hidden by longer hair, but that didn't stop me from taking a peek. His hair was almost black and about 4 inches long on his head and neck, gradually becoming around 1 inch long around the rest of him. Actually, it seemed to form a sort of kind of girdle down the pelvic region.
Codpiece.
All their faces were similar, with a Cro-Magnon sort of look. Brow ridge, deep set, dark brown eyes. There was no hair around the eyes or mouth area, and they had a bit of a beard as well. Their hands were just like ours, except on a larger scale, and they had hair on the backs. The most striking feature about them was the eyes. They're not dumb animals, and they understand that fire can hurt them. One little one was going to pick up an ember that shot out of the campfire, but the mother grabbed him and slapped it, then made a very human, pain-filled, wincing expression and sucked her fingers while shaking her head at the little one. Probably something like this. Oh. That's my guess.
That would be probably accurate.
I'm just a guess. Now you tell me what bear can do that. And I'm going to hand it on over to Jake. He needs to get in on this one.
Well, are you
I
serious?
like the story so far, though. I do. I like the story. Give me that notepad.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now, I'm telling you right now, this is what we're going to call. He didn't go over this. This was not on the script, Adam.
Just read it. They're waiting.
Anyway, without a net, folks.
Without a net.
Dude, he's surprising me online. Anyway, as I understand, there have been fires in the past in that area, so it stands to reason that adults would know how destructive it is. The female was at least a foot shorter than the male and of a slighter build. She did have fuzz-covered breasts with very prominent nipples. You set me up, Mr. Hyde.
I didn't write the thing, bud.
Oh, no. I said nipples on the internets. Okay, sorry, folks. With very prominent nipples, okay? I made sure to take a peek at those as well. Her coloring was almost the color of an orangutan, but she also looked to weigh about half his weight. I am telling you right now. Apologize. I call the other two the little twins because they were identical in all respects, except that there was a male and a female. What you call, not identical, but what's that other word? Fraternal. Yeah, fraternal. Their fur was not like the adults. It was more like fuzz that you would see on a puppy or kitten until the adult coat grows in.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. When I say little ones, I mean little. They were only tabletop height at best and tottered just like human babies do during their first few years. I don't know what that means. I have never told anyone about this because the place would have turned into a circus sideshow. In closing, I would like to say that there are gentle, caring, family-oriented creatures. They showed me no aggression at all. And if I had been able to stay longer, I might have been able to befriend them. Jeez Louise, you really think this guy?
That's right.
They're a miracle as far as I'm concerned. They have restored my faith in the mystical wonders of nature. Please do not do anything to destroy their peacefulness.
Okay.
Kerry, let me ask you a question. What do you think of that encounter story?
I think it happened. I don't doubt that it happened. I think that the notion that these are just peaceful, kind, loving creatures all the time is a little bit misguided, I think. Or, I understand how that can be an impression of them, but there's a flip side. And if you don't really look into it and study on it, you're not ever going to hear about that flip side, which might be a good thing for somebody. I don't know. I wouldn't trust them. I don't think they like men that much, especially the males. I don't think they care for the men. I think they might treat women a little bit with kid gloves a little bit more than the guys. But
that actually is a female who wrote that encounter.
Oh, it was.
Mm.
There you go.
I just took the name off the bottom.
Cool. Because I was wondering that as I was reading it. I was telling Jake too. I was like, I don't know if this is a guy. I can't really tell if it's a guy or a girl. You just can't tell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't think they feel as threatened by females. Nothing against females, but I think that's just.
Well, that's actually a compliment. If you ask me.
Well, I think they're just threatened by human males. We tear things up, just the way we are.
Yeah.
And I
So
think if they've got their young there as well, they're not going to create anything if they don't need to. They must have felt safe,
It seems
absolutely standing out in the open.
young out in the open like that.
I wonder if this is a place maybe that these creatures have come across other people before for some reason, and like they were cool too, the people that they've had experiences with in the past, and maybe there's like no reason for them to get all up, uptight about this person camping by themselves. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it's a pretty interesting story. I tend to listen to the things like it was a family group of hairy man-like creatures. If you're gonna go that far, just go ahead and say what it is.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that reminds me when you see shows or watch documentaries or other things and people are talking to the people for the first time getting interviewed. I like the people that just come out and say it. And then then I saw a Bigfoot, they're not like, they don't describe it in all these other ways. They're like, I saw a Bigfoot, then there was a Bigfoot there. I'm just saying it was a Bigfoot.
Right.
So it's commendable, I think.
Yeah, just go on out with it. You know what it is. It's a Bigfoot. You're giving a Bigfoot report or a Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. But you're gonna go that far. Bring it on out. Now,
there was a Bigfoot sighting in our area, right 3 miles from us last week, and I think that's got me super excited. I just want to let
really.
know. Yep. And I talked to the guy, and it was unbelievable, the story he told me. And I believe it was believable. It was just when that happened so close to us, which we know it is right over here next to us. It's just
Validation.
It's very exciting for us.
Are you guys making an episode out of it or what?
I don't know. The guy really wants to stay low key on it. He doesn't want to be like in the public eye about his name or anything like that. So we are going to work with him. He said he would do an interview.
You can do a recreation.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a recreation.
But he doesn't want to be.
I did go to the site. He sat right off the side of the road. I went and checked it out, and
Prints.
There was a footprint there. It had been rained on after, before I got to it. We had a bunch of rain, but he has a picture of the print and prominent toes in the thing. The thing's bigger than his boot. It's just super exciting. It's so exciting. So
that's awesome.
Read that.
Well, let's spin the wheel. Let's see who's gonna win this one. This is gonna be BLB episode 4, 5, and 6. Is that what we're doing?
This is gonna be throughout episodes 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, yeah, far ahead. Okay, 10, 11, and 12.
Yep. And Jake, why don't you go ahead and give the wheels?
You're too kind, but I would love to. I've been trying to give that bother. Come on now.
Number 4.
Question 4.
Question 4.
Ooh, nice. Okay, yeah. Oh,
I lucky number.
I like this one. 4 is good.
And this is going to be one of those gift packs, Jake.
It's a number of strength.
Came out with it. You want to shoot it? You want to do this?
Sure.
Why don't you read it?
Yeah, okay.
Don't read the answer.
Oh, no, don't read the answer. Okay, well, the first part of it goes, how did Sven find the BLB? Jeez Louise, you have to look on the...
How did who?
Sven.
How did Sven Doherty? Sven.
Sven find the BLB.
Oh, cameraman.
Yeah.
How did Sven find the BLB? Now,
Yep.
Cameraman Sven, how did he find it?
what you are going to be winning is a special Beastie Boys Hot Sauce Committee sticker
Collector's item.
and a late 80s, early 90s Art Monk.
Ryan is the
Hey!
winner.
And this guy right here.
Brian McSurdy?
What?
He needs to get...
No.
Give him the other thing.
Oh man, I hate to do it, but I probably got to.
Brian, wait till you see this.
Since it's you, Brian, I'll send you this cheap.
Oh, Brian just passed out.
He
Brian-
was. It's a
Brian just fell
1989
out.
sticker.
1989 collector's item. We're going to swap that out special just for you.
We'll send you some other kind of nice Steelers memorabilia.
Congratulations, Brian McSurdy.
Brian McSurdy. And
biggest
Thank
Pittsburgh Steelers fan in the world.
Man, I'm sorry.
I'm sure Miss Elizabeth,
It's got to
sports lady in PA, is one also. But yep, congratulations, Brian.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
You won the obscure package of stickers.
Thank
All right.
Other things as well.
What we got now? I think we have. I got this other story. So let's get right at it. Moving right along.
to get them.
Summer 1975. I lived in Mississippi when I was a child. I was about 6 years old when this occurred. I was asleep in my bedroom one night on the second floor of our home when the neighbor's dog began barking wildly at something in the yard. It made such that my siblings and I finally got out of the bed to see what the commotion was all about. Looking down from our window, we saw something in the garden that was right next to the house. Excuse me. I know better than to drink something right before I do this.
Bless you.
Why, thank you. There was only natural light. So they were drinking. But the thing was only about 20 or 30 feet away, and I can still remember it vividly. It was squatting down, eating the vegetables from the plants there. I could even hear it eating from where I stood. Very loud eater. People that drink natural light usually are loud eaters. A moment later, we all screamed in surprise and shock at what we saw. It looked up at us and kept right on eating. I remember that. By its mannerisms, it had no fear of us whatsoever. It made no attempt to leave the area or hide in any way. What I remember was a creature that was built like a human being. I can't say exactly how big it was, but I know it was bigger than the average person. It was covered all with dark, shaggy brown hair, and when it looked up at us, we stood in the window. Its eyes glowed white in the darkness. Eventually, my grandfather woke up and saw it too. He went out the side door with his gun and fired up into the air. We continued to watch out the window and saw the creature stand up and run off on two legs into the woods toward the river. I remember it ran so fast that I could hardly believe it. The next morning, we found very large human-like footprints in the garden. I had never seen anything like that before and never have since. The area is rural and heavily wooded. Very short, to the point, and sweet. I know I had to make the natural light joke, but it was a very loud eater. Apparently, it was crunching down on whatever was in the garden. Looks up at the kids. I mean,
it can be loud.
Obviously not scared of the kids, but and then the kids, jump back in shock. It's a Sasquatch eating out of the garden. That's what it is.
There you go.
Jake's playing musical hats again. I see.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's a fast walker. He's punching into pumpkins. What's going on with this guy?
He sees a garden. He's like, I'm gonna go get some.
He's loading for bear. What's he? He's a squirrel. Is he packing away for winter? I mean, really, what's going on here, guys?
Well, apparently, Grandpa comes running out the side door and shooting up in the air. Obviously, Grandpa knew better than to shoot the thing. That's to me, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's not the first time, maybe.
Knows the ground rules.
Yeah. Get out of my garden.
Oral tradition is handed on down. Don't shoot the wild man.
Mississippi. I can think of plenty of people growing up that would shoot you for being in their garden. I mean, we used to go and get watermelons from I'm not gonna say from where. Linda will get mad at me. Not from your dad, Linda. I promise.
It's funny how they take the risk, isn't it, to go to someone's garden and steal some veg.
That's taboo.
Hunger. He was hungry.
Yeah, for a Squatch, for another human to go into someone's garden, that's just a nasty crime. I think it's wrong. So
okay, guys,
don't do it again.
I'm sorry, but listen. If you're ever so hard up that you got to go to your cousin's house and siphon gasoline out of his snowmobile to put it in your snowmobile, be careful. because your second cousin might have a trail cam set up out there and he might fill your butt full of rock salt. And I'm just saying, don't do it, guys. Put away, you could return bottles and cans. You don't have to siphon gasoline out of your second cousin's snowmobile.
Don't do it.
I'm saying you're going to get shot with rock salt if you're lucky. But if not, then it's going to be one of those reports.
Well, not too many snowmobiles in South Mississippi, probably anywhere in Mississippi for that matter.
Oh,
It's four-wheelers and side-by-sides and
Lawnmower. Riding lawnmower.
lawnmower. Yeah, there are plenty of people that will take the lawnmower down to the beer store because their wife took their keys away from them.
It's hilarious. It happens here too. A guy he used to ride a lawnmower 10 miles into town. And now he's got one of those little easy scooter thing, like a little rascal thing.
2 batteries.
On the side of the road with a shoulder on it like that wide.
That's awesome.
Surprised the guy's
All
alive.
right. What are we giving away?
Why don't we give away another handy pack?
Well, I was thinking, I didn't get any feedback on the song we did last Blueline Wednesday. We said we were going to do a song, kind of cater it a little bit to somebody, and do something, just something like 30 seconds or something that they can maybe use for their ringtone on their phone or something they can just listen to. But this particular person probably wanted to use it maybe for their website or for something like that. Let's do one of those, Jake.
Yeah, you're really good at freestyle. We could,
We'll do a song. We'll do like a little ditty for somebody.
Well,
And,
you guys did one for Boots on the Ground with Barb, and I thought it was great. I know you haven't heard back from her. I'd like to know what Barb thinks of it because I heard it, and I hope she puts it on her channel as like an intro. It's that good.
Are you serious?
It's really good. So you guys did awesome on that. Absolutely. So is that what we're going to give away?
Let's give away another little ditty to somebody.
All right.
Let's just remind them that if they are a winner, just put in some things about themselves that they might want to hear in the song, or just give us an idea of what we're working with. We'll tailor it to your needs.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
Spin the wheel.
Let's go then. Your turn, Adam.
I'm going to spin it. I'm just going to go ahead and spin it. Ooh, that's a weak spin.
Oh, no, number 3.
Three's back here.
1 below. Here we go.
Okay. Here's the question, guys. During Deer Creek, The Return, what was on Adam's bed? What was on my bed? During Deer Creek, The Return.
It's tricky.
What was on my bed? That's the question.
Tricky one. Now, this is not for the faint of heart, and it's gonna.
We got an answer yet?
People are gonna dig deep.
Easy.
If they know this one.
Not a cat. Not a cat.
Throw. Cat. Nope.
No. Deer.
Guys,
No.
you don't like to.
Cockroach. No.
I mean, there may have been one there.
Underwear. Close.
Teddy bear.
Technically, there's
That's
probably
not the right
some.
answer, though.
It's not.
Dirty socks. We're getting there.
Wow.
You know,
Getting there.
Now, all of
It has to
those
be
are
specific.
a duvet.
A towel.
technically all these answers
Blanket.
are coming
Sock.
in.
Lingerie.
Yeah, well,
Lingerie.
Hematos.
didn't you have lingerie in that stack?
No.
there was aside from a pillow and a bedspread, right, and sheets.
It's
Yeah.
blatant. You see it right in front of you. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Speedo, undershirt, shirt, boxers, shoes, Cheetos, beer bottle,
Are you serious?
I mean, we're getting
a blow up doll. Good one. That's a good one. Pork and beans. Lunchbox, a Bigfoot, a rabbit, your girlfriend, pants.
You had a blow up doll in there?
yeah, I did, but that wasn't on the bed at the time. It was in a box underneath the bed.
Lucille? I didn't see
A
Lucille.
bra, Coke.
No, see, guys, here, thing of it is,
This is a tough one.
Well, the thing is, Kerry, and I'm glad because people have been just nailing these questions. I wanted to
Right.
get something they might not get, and hey, it's okay. We can go on with this for a little while and see if no one comes up with it. Maybe someone has to, sit there and
beard wax, hats. I don't know what it is. I remember seeing the thing, so I don't.
Right, but not. They just need to think a bit more
broadly. Yeah, step back from those.
We'll give a clue, and this is what was going to be in the description of the question originally.
Oh, really?
It was in one of the cutaways we did. So I'm doing a little cutaway where I'm talking about what's going on. My bed's in the background. If that helps anybody out. Jake, you keep going. I got you.
What?
John Travolta.
He's dropping you like that all the time.
I know. Don't you? You guys don't come prepared. What's up?
Oh man.
I know, right? Okay. Well, you know what? I've got this last story of mine. It's pretty long. This is Jim from North Georgia, and I'm going to do it straight. You know, people tell me all the time, you shouldn't make fun of these. I'm not making fun of these people. I promise you. I'm kind of parodying a little bit just to have a little bit of fun. It's my own little thing. It's more, a lot of times it's me making fun of myself. I promise you, I'm not making fun of these people. So it's just, we pick these old reports, and it's the way they're written sometimes that I like to kind of pick on. So if I'm picking on them at all, it's the way they wrote it, not their actual story. So that's it.
You're
That's
fixing
it.
the channel.
Oh, and look, I got another email. Okay, today. I wasn't going to say anything about it, but look, you guys are not going to. No one's going to discourage us from going down to Florida and doing this. And this was a really good one. She was very respectful, actually. But the concern is for the Sasquatch, you know, and that I must have some kind of vendetta that I will need to settle. And well, Daniela just we lost her. Oh, there she is. I promise you, I don't have a vendetta, you know. But this is the thing. People have been trying to catch these things on film for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an air of hypocrisy in there, because I can imagine no one writing anyone else a letter and saying you need to stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just us. So what does that say? What's that really say? What's that really say? They think we're going to be successful. So that's a good thing. But we're going to do it. It's set in stone. You know, all you guys that have pitched in to help us out, we appreciate it so much. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And the last thing anybody wants to do is cause any harm to anyone.
Yeah.
In the team, in the Bigfoot, whatever. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
all we want to do is get something more convincing to convince more people. We're not going to prove anything. If we get it walking in front of us, it's not going to prove a thing. But it might convince a few more people that these things actually exist, and they can take the time to look into it more themselves. You know, when we've got 13 very credible, respectable people, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the other 13 guys, you know, and they're all telling the same thing, and we're showing how these guys are going to do this and hopefully get it done. They're going to get something. I know it. And it's just the way it's going to be presented. You know, it's going to be hard for anybody to say, wow, those guys are faking this. So, no, you're not going to be able to do it. So
try and find out what's going on and what it's about. You know, it's out there, and
we're not trying to hurt anything and upset anybody. And, you know, these things get mad at you for no reason anyway. We're going to be in their house trying to take their picture.
We have to do that.
They're probably going to get mad at us.
Yeah, I think for anyone who's had an experience as well. I mean, I haven't, but I can imagine for anyone who's had an experience, though, you know, proving that they exist to those who don't believe, or for whatever, or bringing it to the attention of more people is
meaningful.
Important.
It actually means something.
So. And I like to think of it this way too. What if we do prove that they exist to somebody? It's not going to make them any less elusive.
Right.
All of a sudden, they're just going to be like findable. So
I think it's being acknowledged, though, isn't it? It's being acknowledged in a sense that, you know, if Kerry can't make sense of what's happened, he needs to know what it is. I imagine that's how it is, or, you know, exactly.
I'd love to know. If I don't ever find out, I think I'll be all right. But I just want more people to be aware. That's it. And if we can do something to make that happen,
that's how
we're gonna give it everything we've got.
Yep.
I'm everything I know how to do, which is not a lot, but I do what I do.
Well, look, we've got a winner.
We have a winner.
Yeah.
M's line, you're awesome.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna write that down right here.
She's
Winner.
my favorite. Ems is my favorite, and she knows it. What'd she win?
So she's gonna have that song.
Oh yes, Ems.
Just she already knows our email, and we've
Okay.
been communicating with her a little bit here and there.
Ems gonna get a ditty.
Get a hold of us. Send us an email, bluelinebigfoot@gmail.com. Give us a couple little things you might want to have put in your little song.
M's Lionheart.
And
Right.
we'll put something together for you in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, if we find the time. Probably right. We like to have this type of stuff done in about 2 weeks' time if we can. So yeah, let's do it. We'll get you something cool. If you like it, be even better.
Fantastic. Well, with the time, this is a little bit long story, but it's pretty good. So I'm going to read this one straight up. This is Jim from North Georgia. And he says, "Hey, Kerry and Linda. I used to stop at the Love's truck stop in Popperville twice a week. That's like a mile from where we live. So he knows exactly where we live. I no longer drive for a living. I'm 61 now, and this happened when I was in my late 30s. When I heard you talk about your experience, it reminded me so much of something that happened to me during the bow season that year. Some buddies and I had a deer lease that was pretty isolated. I'll say this. We had to drive old blacktop roads, then dirt roads for miles to get to our camp. I lived closer to it than any of the other guys, so I hunted more often. Sometimes after work, I would spend a few hours hunting. You'd have to see how our land laid out. We had 100 acres of cutover that was thick with new trees and shrubs. We also had a 20-acre lake that was drained down to a 20-foot wide shallow creek, and the rest in the mix of hardwoods, pines, and some fruiting trees. One evening, I got there and hiked over a mile to a self-climbing stand I had put up a big straight pine tree looking over a bunch of white oaks. About halfway up a ridge. I could see very well from there. I'd usually go about 25, 30 feet up a tree. I'd hunt till light was faded and too faded to have a good shot. Bow shot, deer won't always go right down. Then lower my bow, hike out the old logging roads in near dark. On this afternoon, I was in my stand, and the only deer I saw was hustling off out of bow range. At near dark, I lowered my bow like I always did. With a skinny rope, I kept tied to my stand. I climbed down, stepped out of my stand, and bent over to untie my bow. As I started to stand up, a scream/holler grunt that I can't describe hit me. Kerry, I mean, it hit me. I could feel it like a shove. I froze. I've spent a lot of my life hunting or fishing. The outdoors was my relaxation. I'd take my mind off all problems. This was nothing I'd ever heard before, not to mention how I felt it go through my body. It was just maybe 30 feet from me on the other side of some bush that had grown around over persimmon trees, but I could not see it. Around there during bow season, most of us have a pistol on our side. The game wardens look over it because of snakes and coyotes and such. When I got a grip and started sidestepping down the mountain to get the logging road, I started to unsnap my holster with my Browning HP 9mm with a full clip and one in the pipe, but something told me not to. When I got to the old road, I kept walking sideways, looking back up the hill because something was still up there. While I was walking out, it was pacing me. I could hear it walk, but between the bush and darkness, I couldn't see anything. I'd take a few quick steps and stop. Then I would stop a half second later. No matter how many steps or how slow or fast I stepped, it did the same thing. I could tell it wasn't a cat or coyote because it sounded like it was on 2 feet, and it made enough noise like it wanted me to know it was there. I had a mile to walk out and didn't mind saying I was getting freaked out. Ooh, that rhymed. About halfway back to our camp, there was a spot on the side that had two little drop ponds, one right above the other, and a culvert pipe to carry a little creek under that road. My thinking was it could not cross through that spot without me seeing it. Kerry, brother, I don't mind saying this, but by now I was pretty scared. If it wasn't for that holler it made, I would have thought it was a man by the sound of the steps and the noise. When I got to the spot where I thought I would see it, I stopped again. This time it took two very distinct steps. This is when I unsnapped my pistol and I took it out and clocked the hammer back. I then walked to the other side and watched and listened. It never came across the open spot. I waited, then heard a few faint steps start back up toward the mountain, but they weren't near as obvious as when it kept pacing with me. No doubt in my mind, unless it was a man, I was going to put 15 rounds of 9mm in it, maybe the other clip too. I have no idea what it was, but that holler, grunt, whatever you want to call it, was not made by a man or any other critters we have in Northwest Georgia. When I got to camp, I pulled my 30-06 out from behind the seat and laid it in the truck beside me with my handgun. By this time, it was booger dark outside, and the road out kind of went over the crest of just the other side of the mountain. I never went back there by myself again the entire season, gun or bow. When it came time to do the paperwork to lease property again, I didn't go in on it with my buddies. They all kept telling me about all the work I'd put into that land and how many deer I'd killed trying to get me to lease with them again. Kerry, I've never told anybody about this, and it makes me kind of nervous writing it. When I got home that night, my wife could tell something was bothering me. I didn't want to tell her everything, so I just told her that a bobcat spooked me hiking out that night. Like I said, I never saw this, whatever it was, but I haven't really hunted or gone along solo hikes like I used to. I still fish some, but won't go overnight on the river anymore. It's something I can't explain, but never want to go through it again. I don't think I'm crazy, and my family doesn't call me a lunatic, but then again, I have never told them or anyone about the experience. Thanks for listening. Hope that I've not taken up too much of your time. I promise you this is the truth. I just don't understand or know what was there with me that evening. Oh yes, I've heard people talk about a bad stinking odor, but I had the wind coming down the mountain into my face, trying not to get winded by a deer, and never smelled a thing. Of course we know what it is. He knows what it is. I talked to him. People don't want to admit that it could be that. But when you hear that scream, you hear that it's a man, except for this scream or grunt or howl or holler or whatever you want to call it. What else is it? It's a Sasquatch, man. It's what it was. What else paces you? I see. When I said it was similar to what happened to me, what I meant was I was paced one day, 50 feet into the thicket. I thought it was a buck because I would put doe and heat on my boots, doe urine, and I'd walk in and cover my scent. Probably not the best idea, but nothing ever attacked me. But that's what I thought. It was a buck. He was pacing me, and I actually laid down and waited on him, and the thing was tapping on stuff. I thought it was his rat kitten or, rationalizing. But if I would have ever heard a holler or a scream, I don't know. I might have felt the same way. And then him saying when he got back, grabbing his 30-06 rifle, exact same thing I did, except I had a 7 mag. Grabbed it, put it in my lap. It scares you that bad. It just, to the core, shakes you up.
Yeah.
It's like I can imagine, even if not seeing it, but footsteps pacing you, this scream, howl, it's got to go through your mind that you might not make it back. Even if you have a pistol in your hand, there's a chance this thing's going to get me. This childlike fear comes back to you, and it's almost debilitating. But thank you, Jim, for that. Appreciate it very much. It was a cool story, and I stop at that Love's all the time myself when I'm at home. What do you guys think?
Mm.
He put it through all these things. I think, you know, you look at it through that lens. He's trying to set it up in some way that it's like, oh, you know, the way he looks at it from where I see, he's like, oh, he's looking at it at a good level. But then at the very last minute, it seems like he goes back into denial. And he's like, you know, he uses all these good steps of how to rationalize or look at things, but then doesn't want to see what really it's the only thing that he can see. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, it kind of does. Deep down, you know what it is, but it's almost like you have to rationalize it away. You still don't go in the woods by yourself anymore, you know, and you still don't fish at a certain spot at night like he didn't anymore. But you still tell yourself you don't want it to be, you know, you don't want it to be real, I suppose. Some people don't want it to be. Some people don't have a choice. It just gets thrust upon you. Daniela, what is your thought on it?
Well, maybe, I mean, not everyone believes in it, do they? Also, no. You know, so therefore, seeing something, if you never heard of what it is, and there are people like that. I told you, didn't I? I met a couple from Canada, and I really wanted to ask them about Bigfoot. And I thought, how am I going to kind of have this conversation with them, just kind of drop it in? And before they left, it's a long story, but anyway, before they left, I thought, I'm just going to ask them. And I said, hey, what do you think about Sasquatch? And the lady went, what, the flower? I was like, no.
Yeah, flowers. Yeah.
Is there a Sasquatch flower?
No, I've no idea. And I said, no, like Bigfoot. But she went, oh, no, it's just rubbish. That's just, you know. Just
totally written off.
Yeah, it's rubbish. I got all flushed right then thinking about that, him going through that and being in the truck and grabbing that gun and that feeling. I got hot. I wasn't trying to. So yeah, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that there's people who just don't believe.
Yeah, there's a lot of them all over the places. Right.
She thought it was a flower.
Yeah.
No.
The Sasquatch was a flower. Is there a Sasquatch flower?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
At the Sasquatch calling contest 2 years ago, there was a big metal sculpture of a Sasquatch. He was, I guess it was a butterfly. He was holding, his arm was out like this, and there was a butterfly on his finger. Remember that?
Yeah, it's supposed to make him represent them as the peaceful woodland creature.
Yeah.
Big nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming close to the end of our hour here. I just want to let everybody know episode 12 is filmed. It's done. Sisters of the Moon. We had a good time at the conference. I just uploaded 9 hours and 13 minutes worth of raw footage that I'm going to try to cut down to about 2.5. I may be in 2 parts to this one. I don't know. I got a ton of promos. A lot of people that we met at the conference that watched the show, and a lot of researchers there that we got some promos with, and everyone knew who we were except Cliff Barrickman. He said he had never heard of us, but all the other, I mean, Lyle Blackburn and Ken Gerard, Nick Redfern, all those guys. It was very cool for them to just sit and talk to you as a peer. It's kind of weird. It really is. It's
it was awesome.
It's very humbling experience for sure. And there were several, like Miss Nidra Smith and her husband Larry. They drove all the way down there just to go do that with us and film with us, and it was great. It was awesome. Sisters of the Moon, incredible. It's going to be kind of like episode 9 because there's 5 interviews with all of them, and then we got all the campfire stories recorded with them. So all that stuff's going to go in it, and their whole story, the drone footage, and it's all going in. So I'm working on it. I'm not going to put a time. I'm not going to let you guys know because I have to work 12 hours every day. Come in here, work on it. We've got 9 more shows to do after this. Tomorrow is our very first night of Spook Week. We're doing a show every night, 7 p.m. Central. We're going to have different guests on. and it may some of them may last for a while, but they're gonna be
Woo!
gonna be telling ghost stories. So I have a list. I do have to.
Isn't it?
Where's the list, Daniela? Didn't you send me a list?
On
I got it.
Messenger.
Okay. Tomorrow night is gonna be Javier. That's Cryptid 559. He's gonna be on telling ghost stories. Friday night, Brent and Don from Paranormal Portal.
Yeah.
Saturday, the Ouija Brothers. There's some Brits. The 27th, Cam Buckner and Kat will be on. I don't know who Kat is. Is somebody coming on with him telling some ghost stories?
Drop the hammer.
Cam.
Monday, John Williams. Tuesday, Connie Willis. Connie Willis from Coast to Coast AM. Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Very
nice.
The 30th, the night before Halloween, the BLB
Huh?
will be.
A different side of the BLB, the paranormal side of the BLB.
Also on the 29th, after Connie, D. Dawson Tex 2517 will be coming on at 8 o'clock after Connie. And then on Halloween night, we've got Wes Germer and Tony Merkel coming on. So, yeah, that's who we've got lined up
Wow.
to tell ghost stories.
Fun stuff.
Should be absolutely awesome. Should be fun. Speaking of Paranormal Portal, those guys are going to be going live in just about an hour. Brent and Don have a 2-hour show here on Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday and Saturday, Brent and Don do a show together. It's a 2-hour show. 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Central. Don't miss that. I'm going to try not to miss this one, but I may be uploading some more footage and trying to put together Sisters of the Moon, episode 12 of Bigfoot Odyssey.
Cool, man.
Cool. Again, thank you everyone that donates to the cause. Everybody that does, you are going to be recognized in the film verbally. The guys are going to say your name. Thank you. Special thanks from anybody that's already donated, anybody that's going to donate. We really do appreciate all the help.
We've just had $45 in the last hour.
Yeah,
great.
Coming in. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Because I'm going to make up the difference. Whatever we don't get, I'm making up the difference. So I'm prepared to put 20 grand in if I have to. Kerry, have you ever thought about having a sketch artist help you recreate the one you saw? You know what? D-Legend27, if you go to our Facebook group, you can see a guy named Malcolm has done a sculpture of one. I talked to him for a while on the phone. He sent me pictures. I told him what to fix on it about 8 or 9 times, and he got pretty close to what I remember seeing. So I don't think he's waiting on some stuff still to finish it, but you can see the sculpture actually of the one that I had seen. It's very scary.
And there's an image you've drawn as well. The image that you've drawn.
Yeah, I got a picture that I drew also. That's it's the head's not quite shaped right, but the nose, I think the way it looks, what it reminds me of whenever I close my eyes and see it, and I get that hot feeling like I just got, that's what it reminds me of. So it's not exactly right. The hair is not right, but this sculpture is going to be, I think, going to be pretty close to it. Absolutely. Just looks like a guy with exaggerated features. That's what it looks like. So, all right. Well, don't forget, join us tomorrow. 7 o'clock p.m. Central, night 1 of Spook Week for Halloween. Going to be telling ghost stories or scary Bigfoot stories, whatever. We're going to have a good time, just like we always do.
Halloween type stuff.
But, thank you very much, Adam and Jake. We'll see you guys on the 30th. We'll see you again for Blue Line Wednesday, obviously. Thank you so much, Daniela, for everything you do. You're just absolutely fantastic. And that's it, I think, right?
Yeah. I think it's good.
Thanks for checking out the show, everybody.
Hey.
Yes, great show.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Now it's time to say goodbye.